Well, Friday before Friday Memorial Day weekend here on Horizon Avenue, like we've been telling you, Becky Dennison, Venice Community Housing, Carl Lambert Investments, Donor Class Loyola Marymount, HUD Fraud, Felicia Adams Kellum, LAPD lawsuit, lead officer Kristen Delory, who knows me, a wonderful cop, quitting and suing the LAPD for falsifying crime stats. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Things plugged off. Several hundreds of individual offices just to this one address on Horizon Avenue. There's Westminster, where there was a shooting death with a sex trafficking component. 5 other deaths very recently around here. Traci Park, CD 11 for a safer 11. There's Horizon Apartments, LLC. You know, Yo Venice and Venice Current and Valley Current and Current Media. It's all one person. Dortima, West Hollywood Pride paper. We'll follow through and see what this is about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe 8. A couple more beyond that other engine. This is the Crooked Fire Union at $500,000 or $600,000 a year with benefits. The Traci Park Pancake Fire Union. The reservoir cover tear was reported 1 full year before the Karen Bass Traci Park preventable ecosystem holocaust with all those deaths. Looks like somebody's being arrested. Okay. Now if we can get, and we will, some of these criminal cops arrested and removed, that'll be great. Westminster Avenue, Westminster Plaza, Horizon. Now we've checked the stats and we know that these poverty pimp lawyers, Felon Carl Lambert Esquire, Steve Clare, C-L-A-R-E, David Stephen Clare Esquire, founder of Venice Community Housing Corporation, lease partner service provider, Valecia Adams Kellum. Monday, the 27th, Judge Carter's court, it took a federal investigation from Central California to just begin to unpack the inside safe stuff, which was Project Room Key, Staff Project Rape Key. These cops have been, several hundreds of them have been to that one address. Now, it's not a matter of public record, except we've got videos. We've got interviews. We've got massive documentation, which is why I've been ostracized, serially battered at the age of 74 after an entirely non-criminal life, an accountable, accomplished work history, gaslighted my records room with lies, viciousness, which means I can never be safe anywhere else in this country for the rest of my life. These crooked fire departments that have a guy named Arrow took me out of town in the same protocol that sold out Ursua, S-O-L-E-D-A-D, Ursua from Venice Neighborhood Council. Gloria Romero's daughter and a real climber up the HUD, another Trojan horse. Her mommy's been left the Democratic Party a couple of minutes before Trump 47, election 2024, and said nothing the previous 6 years that her daughter was reporting upon, what she called a medical billing scam, forced drugging, having reporting tenants, arrested by these guys, taken out of town and forced drugged by these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stand down LAPD cops, because it's Felon Carl Lambert's Westminster Plaza. You know that Venice V Hotel full of toxic mold, sinking, the water table is above the basement. That's where a dozen heavy-duty trucks, piping, saws, cranes, DWP were all of 2024 when Traci Park went to Tokyo and Paris with Canadian Cuba teenage firebomb expert Karen Bass. But don't worry, she don't feel like that no more. Okay? These DEI criminals pretending to be cops. You got 2 or 3 dozen urban alchemy and business BID stooges, expunged felons coming here. That's what Jewish Family Services and Jewish Federation does. Kill these Jews along with Catholic charities. I'm a Jewish person. My dad was born in Nazi Poland. Came through on Ellis Island, a Brooklyn Jew. Then up to Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and I've been out here for 45 years when Ramon's producer, Craig Leon, and some other nice people helped us to Hollywood after a professional demo that we made in Northern New Hampshire wild. So I've been here for quite a long time. That deal went bye-bye pretty quickly, but I've stayed true to my passion project mission because I have no choice. That's who I am. So they have to stop that too. 7,500,000 views, more than any other independent, unsigned, unaffiliated artist in world-famous Venice history. They've taken over the arts first. The SPARC, Spark, from where the old Venice Town Hall and Jail was, the Beyond Broke Literature Center, taken over by METH Mike Bonin. I mean, the worst poverty pimp, Ed Buck, partner, Garcetti, gay mafia, Gascon, the worst freaks, the worst. Snapchat crack chief Hoffman, real estate agent, Market Street. That's who brokered this Horizon Apartments LLD deal. They've been lying and changing. Hello, brother. Working, bro. The records on the internet. I love the people, and the people love me. I'm never hurt by these rough streets. I'm hurt by these bitches and the bitches that they protect. Pardon my French. I have police in my family. These Rainbow Reset cops couldn't get more cruel, couldn't get more anti-Semitic. It took 5 of them to refuse to make a simple police report that they wouldn't allow me to make online because of the nature of the death threats coming from lawyer, stakeholder, Brad Neal, shooting death family, drug dealing, shooting death family. One of these cops goes, "You look like you're on methadone." These mother drugs, the drug house prostitution, UCLA Med, Department of Mental Health. Let's look into Dr. Joseph, Josef. Secretary Kennedy knows about this. Dr. Peter Bregan, Harvard, before the Harvard epitome of pimp, a vicious pimp, promulgated protected violence. Meth Mike Bonin comes here from Clinton, Massachusetts, proving that Satan has a sense of humor. Because the Clinton money here is up to your neck in blood deep. My friend Mary Klein was raped, 8 bones in her face broken. Another woman was raped and beaten to brain death. We had to wait a month while these tricksters played damage control. None of them from here. Karen's busy expunging the justice-impacted people so more criminals could get jobs, more easily manipulated. They take territory, treasure, an unelected purview. And now Traci Park, who endorses Adam Schitt and endorsed George Gascon before she had a change in midstream, to Nate Hochman, Beverly Hills High School Putz DA, Jew-on-Jew hate crime, Nate Hochman. Let me tell you, my father was born in Nazi Poland. I went to Bethlehem, Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn as a 5-year-old, taken there by my Catholic cousins in Catholic school uniforms because my uncle married my aunt Terry. And a lot of beautiful cousins who were raised in the Catholic tradition, right in my Yiddish grandparents' home. The only prejudice that happened there was the girls got all the attention from Papa and Bubba. So, Aunt Terry and Bubba were amazingly alike. You know, Sicilian and Yiddish. Both short, both dark skinned. They both wanted to stuff anybody in their family or out of their family or that they knew or a stranger with food all the time. They would cook it for you. And then they would put it in front of you. And if you didn't eat fast enough, they'd stand in front of you and say, "What's the matter? You don't like it? I'll make something else." So that's my Jewish Catholic experience. These son of a bitches are killers that spark anti-Jew hate mural right after the Israeli kidnappings. That couple was just killed. The Holocaust Museum here, they've been denying that. All the rabbis talking about scientists' complicity and stand up now. Get me to Israel, get me anywhere. Get me out of a car. So I have to end up pissing in a sink in jail for showing these bitches the justice my father was sworn to. Then that's going to happen too, because I have fucking had it. You know, Sean rapes Silva, first job in life, another Loyola Marymount Jew hate DEI bitch, calling the cops on me. You know, it won't come up in the public services, and that's why we're ostracized, because it will come up in our interviews with top administrators. We know the coroners. We've got hundreds of these guys going into one apartment, mandated reporters refusing to report. Got to start dope now that we have DOJ, Department of Police Efficiency. And like I said, I don't want to get into any details, but they're very important law enforcement people in my family, and has been since I grew up in a blue lab in Brooklyn, New York. My father's best friend in the war, Eddie, an NYPD officer. So this ain't cop hate, this is crime hate. Luskin, Edelman, drug-pushing, violence-inducing drugs sold at Ursua, now on HUD, said in the email letter to the entire Venice Neighborhood Council and yours truly in 2019. It was like a medical billing scam. Oh, she was going to pull a FOIA report, never came. Section 3 security cameras, high definition, right on 15 Horizon Apartments LLC, where Daryl's head exploded before he was stabbed. I was sent to the hospital emergency room. You know, there's records of that. Because we were terrified and frightened, and LaFoy Johnson, who was stabbed, I took that picture. So when they tell you there's no documentation or no proof, that's because they're hoping it'll die before I can get to my materials, which is why we've been trying to get this professionally and safely unpacked. Professionally. We only need modest prep and very, very modest equipment, less than that. LASA, Los Angeles Housing Authority, Marion Ensley, Karen Bass, Becky Dennison, VLMA, poverty pimps use every single Venice community housing meeting, PowerPoint. Really simple shit. They don't memorialize these meetings because they know they're criminals. Carl Lambert Investments, Westminster Avenue. Shooting death right there. That's the senior center. That's not a senior center. METH Mike Bonin, dirty deal with the Coastal Commission. Snapchat Evan Spiegel, John Spiegel, Snapchat Market Street, Crack House Jack Hoppins, the broker. Felon Carl Lambert sale back to himself. They changed that because they're all lawyers, but we've screenshot everything over 8 years. Don't tell us that it's rhetoric that's inflammatory if we use the word poverty pin, because it's a definition that we didn't create. And I was on the radio with Peter Delden, Larry O'Connor, Leanne Tweeden, Dr. Drew Pinsky, and others in 2018 and 2019, and we filmed and taped all those too, because we know we have to memorialize things responsibly. Lifetime non-criminal, going to be 74 in July if I have the misfortune of making it. I shouldn't even be joking, because all these bitches have to do is go, oh, we got to take you in to get checked out. And then you're taken out of town and drugged and beaten. And we have witnesses for that too. They hope the statute of limitations just dissolve all this before somebody can get their wits together after getting beaten in the head. I don't know. I guess that they had to make some money. I guess a lot of overtime officers for the people, overtime money for the people that falsify the crime stats and create the crime. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing the criminal cops finally got another criminal. There must have been some pressure on them. Bank of America shootings. Where's the detective? Big truck arson explosions. Did you know that major arson explosions was against the law? Did they teach you that at a legal reset rainbow cop school? Get a haircut and watch your diet. Should talk. I've had to work 3 years for my last professional haircut. You don't want to know how wonderful it is to never be able to shower. And all these people all these trust fund flunkies who've never done anything in their life look down at there. Same as trying to put Trump in court instead of letting him campaign for president. And then when they couldn't do that, they just shot at him. Same bullshit. Becky Dennison, BLMLA. Stand down cops. Stand down cops right from here. Organized. We got the videos. Street to street. Walkie-talkie. Crowds going to CVS, looting it, burning it. Where were these guys? Protecting Hotel Irwin. The new commander. I took the time, the effort, and the patriotic duty of meeting them. Meeting with Chief Moore, which I came to regret because Bridge Crack House, open crack house, fortune. Garcetti hauls him out of retirement, mega millionaire for more millions to be a political cop. And we hear about refund the cops. Refund Himmler.
You know what happened?
Well, I guess they needed a...
Sorry?
Well, I saw one guy in bracelets, but I saw it from here, so I don't have any details. I don't know what it was, if it was a crash or, a guy was shot to death right there at Westminster Park. That was a Coastal Commission deal with METH Mike Bonin. The Coastal Commission funded a rehab for the senior center. It turned out when BLM Becky Dennison, who owns these cops, along with Dirty Roger Mahoney, pedophile protection racket, because that's what this is really about. It's really always about following the money. Always. Always. Because not one of these people giving me the hard stare show up without getting lots of money while denying me work where I've lived for 70, where I've lived for 45 of my 74 non-criminal years. The people who supported law enforcement with their hearts, with their souls, and there are many videos of that over the years, protected the rank and file who mostly left for private security. The honest ones went on the radio, said, we can't protect you, we can't even protect ourselves because the cop hate is socially engineered and you're refunding the money to those same criminals. You think Karen Bass is a softer version of Garcetti? Or, easy to buy, $100K scholarship from Marilyn Flynn, indicted, convicted USC poverty pen, quid pro quo, city council, how many indictments, convictions after arrest and then imprisonments? A lot. That's the Los Angeles City Council. We've been telling you 7 or 8 years. Where's my 15 or 25% of the billions they found right now? But the sad thing is, at 74, with all the medical problems that they've given me, and the access to even a physical that they've denied me. I'm getting evicted without attorney from poverty pimp criminal DEI Bobby Tillman, TILLMON, in Santa Monica Superior Court. I've done so much service. Rhino Records in the 80s. Motion picture studio grip in the 90s. Magazine journalist, newspaper reporter. Franconia College, northern New Hampshire, after Brooklyn. So I love the mountains and animals and critters. I spent 10 years there. Studied child psychology, early childhood, taught in nursery school. Childless pimp, Traci Pimp from Downey, municipal attorney, gets dragged here by felon Lambert to hug a kitty at the city council meeting. But Pacific Palisades fires were entirely preventable. If you're calling to go, I could use a sandwich.